Welcome to another edition of Tom's Real Food Podcast. Today's podcast is brought to you by Wednesday's Video, London Broil. This was cut from a 10-pound shoulder roast that I had butchered up a couple weeks back. Learn how to cut your own meat. Let's go to the podcast. Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Tom Garvey, the Keto Cook. Today, Tom's Real Food Podcast, up there, we are still going to continue to talk about stress. Okay, now, like you seen in the beginning of my commercial, the opening there, I made that London broil. We talked about it in a couple past podcasts. That was from the full cut 10-pound shoulder roast that I did and cut it in for different meals. I believe I got 7 out of it. Now, this is a tough cut of meat. So, cooking it different ways. I remember back mid-70s, I guess it was, or early 70s, London broil was the new the new craze back in the day. Matter of fact, when they turned everybody against eating beef, they even come out with turkey, and they called it Turkey London broil. I mean, come on. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, me and Marie argued over that one time. She kept saying to me, it says London broil on the pack. It's a turkey breast. Really? Anyway. But how things evolve with different stuff with that. The whole idea, when I'm saying about stress, knowing that I had 7 different meals out of it, that stress level of what are we going to eat? Do we have enough food? Whatever, which is never a problem in my house because I always make sure that we have enough to eat. It's the idea of pulling out a whole roast, waiting for it to thaw, whatever, or cook it, and waiting for it to be done. I decided to start butchering up my meats. Learn how to do it. It's really easy. Even if you don't cut it like a professional and you cut it up into smaller meals that you can make, you're better off, and it takes that one level of stress away from you about as far as what are we going to have for dinner. It's easy just to go in the freezer and pull it out. There it is. I mean, I have some steaks in there. I have a couple more pieces from that butchering I did. I have chickens and stuff. And also, I've been ragging about chicken, how chicken's not tasting the same. So what I've been doing is I got some legs and thighs. That's what I like. Marie likes the breast meat. But I'm going to be showing you, I'm going to be buying a couple whole chickens. They're not too expensive. Cut them up, and you can make a lot of different meals out of that right there. So I showed you one video. I did a half spring chicken, and yeah, it works. Everything works. But to get that mindset that you're not going to worry about it. Stress levels, okay? Last week I told you that I went to the doctor and we were going to discuss it. Now, believe it or not, I had to redo this portion of the podcast a couple different times because I could feel myself getting stressed out about it because I'm getting a little frustrated about why isn't the medical field listening to what's going on with us, and why do they condemn it? You know, my question to my doctor is, I've been doing this for many years, all right, since I was back in 2008 or 9 when I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes from having bladder cancer, from the treatment. It's exactly how I got it. It affected my liver, and all of a sudden everything went berserk from there. So how do you deal with the bladder cancer or deal with the type 2 diabetes? What do? Try to handle both of them. There's 2 different methods to do it. So one is going to counteract the other one. So my point is I'm going to try to hold it together here without losing my grip, which is not good. And everybody has it. It's not just me. On top of all that, somebody tried to break into my car the other night, dealing with the property manager and all stuff. And like I said, step out of the circle, look and see is this really worth the extra aggravation? Is it worth the stress that I'm going to be in? Sometimes you have no choice but to deal with it. But it's your health and anything else around you, anything that can be replaced, don't stress about it. Try not to stress about it, right? Because money's tight for everybody. And in the same token, if something happened with the car where it's going to cost me out of pocket cost because of some idiot tried to break into my car, um, so be it. I have to deal with that. Health wise, you got to calm the stress levels down because that is crucial. There's no replacing you if something happens. Most people will wind up stroking out with a stroke or something over that, and you can control most of it right here of what you eat. So let's get into a little bit about my doctor visit, which is not it's concerning to me because I do pay attention. I do pay attention to what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and the best results I've ever gotten was when I took the bull by the horns myself and started watching what I was eating. Sugar is like I keep saying, sugar is the killer. High carbohydrates, okay, sugar, it's a killer. The more carbs you put into your system, all of a sudden now your insulin's working hard, up through the roof. Blood sugar starts going up because it's not controlled, and then you have heart problems. Then you have type 2 diabetes. Then all these different things play into that one area of high carbs, high sugar diet, and it's a sin that nobody's paying attention to it, or nobody is pushing the issue to change the way we eat. I go to the and I didn't want this podcast to be like that, but I have no way around it. And I'm going to tell you towards the end of how I'm dealing with it and how I worked it out. But every time I talk about it, I get a little crazy with it because it means a lot to me because that's what's keeping me above ground. If I turned around and just did the medications, did what they wanted me to do, I'd be a walking zombie, or I wouldn't be here. That's plain and simple. So the other day I'm in the supermarket going to pick up some groceries, a little bit of stuff here and there, and I just, for the hell of it, they won't let me anyway video it. I wish they would, and I don't want to sneak doing it because I have my ethics too that I have to fall by. I'm not putting any doctors down. I'm not blaming the medical field anyway of anything, but they know nothing about nutrition. Nothing. Okay, they think they do, but they don't. And some nutritionists also, they're off the charts with the old conventional way of doing things. But in the supermarket, walking up and down, it was always said before that to shop the outer perimeter of the store. Well, they must have listened to that because guess what? Now they're putting all these freezers or refrigerators on the outside of the store. Now, the perimeter. And that's where they got all the pizza, frozen pizzas, all the stuff that we should not be eating or looking at. And then I went up and down the aisle, and in one aisle, it started crackers, and I like the health food section. That's the one that really gets me. The granola bars and these crackers and all these different brands, and then you start seeing keto friendly. Oh, this is keto friendly and stuff. But like I said, it's 3 or 4 aisles, and it actually starts with one with the ice creams and stuff like that. So now, if you have no problem with type 2 diabetes, you want to go ahead and have ice cream, whatever. I can't, and I know most people that have type 2 can't have it either because our insulin is not working right. That's basically what it is. So up and down the aisles I'm going. So you start off with granola, the healthy snacks, and then you move into the next aisle, and then you have pretzels, potato chips, all kinds of snacks to eat, and crackers. There's got to be 50 or 60 different types of crackers that you can have up and down, and there again, healthy. Starts out healthy, then keto friendly, and it keeps on going down. Then you go to the next aisle. Then you get into the peanut butters and the jellies and all this other spreads, and it's mind blowing to me. And when I shop, I look at what other people have in their cart, and I say, God Almighty, boy, if they only knew that they're going to be getting metformin pretty soon. They're going to be putting on glipizide or some other kind of medication because their blood sugar is going to go through the roof. And that's my plea right now with everybody. Just please be careful. Watch what you put inside into your system. This is not a bad way of life. We eat really well. I tell you in the beginning, if you watch the podcast from the first one on, is you got to kill the cravings. So when you watch a YouTube channel and you watch somebody who's making keto friendly desserts, dessert means one thing: sugar. There's no savory desserts. Okay, everything is sweet, and that's the bottom line. Whether it is sugar free, that means it is added sugar to it, or there's some kind of substitute that's there. So when you eat something that's sugar free, your body has no clue that label says sugar free on it. All it knows, it's got a reaction to the sweet, whatever it is, and it's going to work from there. Now, allulose and stuff like that, people say it doesn't affect them. Me, it bothered. It bothered me. I tried monk fruit. I tried all that stuff, but the main reason was kill it. Once you shut it off, you shut that sweet spot off, you don't miss it. Takes a while. Now, I said before, I used to smoke quite a bit of cigarettes, and every once in a while, I haven't smoked in 16 years. Every once in a while, I look for that cigarette. Here's the point. We are so accustomed to watching commercials and stuff that are sweet and stuff that we need to, oh, you got to have this, and you need, I remember as a kid, Wonder Bread helps build bodies in 12 ways. Now, it should have said, helps wreck bodies in 12 ways, because it was just, the carb count on it was ridiculous. But that's what we were fed, and that's, excuse me, I'm from the era of that was commercials. Sometimes you would sit and just watch commercials because they were funny or whatever, and but pushing marketing all that sweet stuff to us and telling them it's healthy. How many times Cheerios was said heart healthy? Really? And we bought it. That was a problem. Even the doctors, well, try some Cheerios, And then, getting into, our children, we did it. Give a little cup of cereal or something, let the kids chew on it and stuff, so they get that sensation of sweet. Now, is it going to be that child will grow up to be a diabetic? Well, you're sort of forcing it on them a little bit, especially if it becomes out of control. So I know it's very, very hard to make ends meet nowadays. Prices are coming down a little bit, but I don't see them changing. I don't see them dropping down, because once you get used to paying that, and they know you're used to paying it, you're going to have to keep paying it. See where I'm going now with the stress? See, it's starting to build. I'm trying to keep it calm. First of all, like I said, they walk you all the way down to the end of the hallway and put you on a scale and walk you all the way back up again and do your blood pressure. Puts the cuff on over my shirt, raise it up. Girl says, oh, we're going to have to do it again. It's high. It's 150, whatever it was, over 90, whatever, 80, whatever the hell it was. I said, well, you put it over my shirt. And I just made me run a marathon. I said, put the scale in here. Put a scale in here in each room. And they just looked at me like, So she did it again. And as she went to put it on, I moved my sleeve up. But it was fine. So that was loop number one. The hoop that I had to jump through, number one. And then the doctor comes in, very nice. I'm not bashing doctors. There again, I wish they would conform or understand what I'm doing, at least do a little research on it, and maybe they might have a change of pace. But there's no more home doctors, and what I mean, they have their own business. You don't go to it. When I was younger, we used to go to my doctor's house, and he had an office in his house that you would go, separate from his house, but that's where you would go. Now it's all corporations. It's corporate run. They have facilities all over the place, and you're just a number. Basically, that's what you are. But before I went to the doctor, here was the stress level. It started on a Thursday. I had a Monday appointment. They started on that Thursday. I got 3 or 4 texts about my office visit on Monday. Then I got 2 or 3 emails, okay, about my office visit on Monday. And then I got phone calls Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay, all about my office visit. Really, nobody's watching the shop. Nobody's paying attention to it, and it's annoying. Every day I got them in a row, just that same number. Monday morning comes 7:30. My phone's ringing. Okay, and I look. I pick it up. It's the doctor's office. Cancel my appointment. Okay, so I mean, here it is, building up, building up, building up. All right, and then they cancel for whatever reason. So now I call. They tell me to call when office hours start. So that was at 8 o'clock. A little after 8, I call, and they made my appointment for the next day. Hang up. 15, 20 minutes later, text goes off about my appointment for the next day. A couple of emails, they shoot them out, and then a couple robocalls about it. So I go in there, like I said, they woke me up and down, went through the whole routine. Doctor comes in. How you doing, Miss Garvey? Everything okay? Blah, blah, blah. I said, yeah, I'm fine. How you doing? Well, we're good. I said, I got a question for you. I said, why do you call me every day, okay, 4 or 5 days prior to my visit? Why do they do it? Oh, they're back doing that again? We'll have to check into that. Okay, you ain't going to do nothing about it. So I said, well, you know what? Take me off the list. I don't want that. If there's a problem, I'll call you. If not, we'll just leave things go. You know, if I set the appointment, I know this is priority, and that's how we're going to handle it. So that was stress. Stress number one with the doc. Go through my blood work, and that's every 90 days. We do that every 90 days, and that's actually 4 visits a year. You figure it out, unless there's complications with something or whatever. So it's the same talk over and over and over again for 15 minutes. All right, that's it. Okay, well, let me get this. Everything okay? Yeah. Prescription's good? Yeah. But when we get down to the meat and potatoes of it, I said to her, I got the blood work down. She said, yeah, I got to talk to you about the cholesterol. No, we're not talking about cholesterol. I'm not doing that. I refused that. I said, like I said, I asked you last time, give me the name of somebody who died. Don't get me wrong now. I'm not picking on a doctor or whatever, but it's the same routine that you go through about it. They don't listen to you about what I'm doing. I said, my cholesterol is going to be high because I am eating high fat, low carb, and zero sugar. That's what I'm eating. All clean foods, meats and vegetables. That's what I'm having. She said, but I'm a little concerned about your triglycerides went up. I said, okay, but LDL stayed the same. My HDL went up. She said, yeah, that's a good thing. I said, also my A1C dropped 1 point. What's the problem? Well, if you're worried about your HDL and also your triglycerides, and that could lead to pancreatitis and stuff like that. I said, okay, well, what are we going to do about the triglycerides? I said, that to me is a lot of carbs, I would think. It's measures to the fat in your blood, but whatever, how it changes into that. I said, so all right. I said, I'll tell you what do you got going for me? What are you going to give me? So she said she gave me the name of what we talked about. A couple of them I said no, it was already on. She wanted to put me back on a statin. I'm not going to do a statin. And the bottom line was I agreed to getting this one medication, and I tried it for 2 days. I felt like I got gut punched. Didn't bother me as far as bathroom wise, but the pain was there for 2 days. I stopped taking it, and I'm back to feeling good again. And then if you look into the side effects on it, it may cause joint pain, may cause muscle cramps. I don't need that. I don't need all. Been there, done that. So I stopped it. So, all right. Before we go any further, we're gonna take a little break. Second half of this podcast is brought to you by Blonde Cioppino. Next Wednesday's video from Tom Garvey, the KETO Cook. That's right, start introducing a little bit of seafood into your diet. Now, let's get back to the podcast. All right, seafood is going to be the new thing that I'm going to be introducing to my diet again, and nothing wrong with it. Really good stuff. has a great flavor. I love seafood. Not so much a fish guy. I like flounder and stuff like that. But next couple of videos, we're going to be discussing that next podcast. We will be talking about eating fish and stuff. All right. So getting back to my doctor, the end result was um, that everything seemed to be turning out right because the numbers are not conforming to what they want. And that's mind blowing to me that they don't understand that. I said, you're giving me, or the testing is being done on a standard American diet. I don't do that. I'm not eating that way. So therefore, it's not going to work out to the way you want it. My cholesterol and stuff is going to be up that way. I said, you never did answer me, or you never did give me the name of somebody who had died from just high cholesterol alone. A lot of people die from heart disease, okay, but nobody was, as far as I looked and investigated, not one person has died from high cholesterol. That was on their death certificate. And at that point, she was like disgusted with me, and my 15 minutes was running out. So, but the whole idea is, if there's enough people out there that bitch and moan about this, they got to change because they keep moving the goalposts further and further back or to their convenience to give you that medication. So that tells you a lot of different things. Now there's a couple holistic doctors around here, but I can't. My insurance won't cover it, and they're expensive because they know that they're starting to be coming into demand with it. So I mean that's my tale of woe. I mean the stress, trying to figure out what you're going to eat for dinner and stuff like that. Change. I told you that. Turn around and learn how to cut some meat. Plan things out a little bit better. Stuff's going to go wrong. I mean, if you're just a home cook and you've never done it this way, make it your own. Feel better about it. It doesn't have to be, a protein, vegetable, and a starch. It does not have to be that way. You can mix it up any different way you want. Now, if your family, if you're not a type 2 diabetic and you're looking just to lose weight or just to feel better, then you can compensate with a little bit, a little potatoes here and there and stuff. But personally, if you are a type 2 diabetic, trying to jump through them hoops, you're going to hurt yourself big time. You're looking at a guy right here who I had this under control. I mean, I went from 258 as far as my blood sugar numbers were. That was my average, all right, down to 5.4. I beat it. That was it. I mean, my highest blood sugars were 110, but I got greedy. And now let me try this. I'm going back to the old ways. And now it's harder and harder to manipulate through there because if I did damage, I don't know if they did, I did any kind of damage. And then when you talk to the doctor, one more thing about the doctor. When you talk to the doctor about different tests, my main concern with her was to get my insulin checked. Right? This is a big thing I forgot about. She said your insulin is normal. Well, that's according to who's ever doing the blood work, because it's not a everyday occurrence that somebody has their insulin checked. So mine was at 17, I think 17% or whatever, 17 the number was. Looked at a couple different scientists that deal with insulin, and they say it shouldn't be no higher than 6. That's that's 11 points away from 6. I mean, that's a long way. That's, up there. Anyway, she said, no, that's fine, the whole bit. I said, well, what are we doing about my insulin resistance? How are we going to handle that? Well, maybe we can put you back on, have you ever tried glipizide? Yep, been there, done that. Maybe this one pill that you're going to be taking, maybe that might work. Nope, didn't work. 2 days, felt sick to my stomach, felt like I got punched, like I said. Bones starting to ache, so I'm not going to go back. I'm not retreating. I'm going to move forward. Am I worried about heart disease? Well, that's the next thing. I mean, the last time I had, it's probably time is coming up for me to go back and have, do a heart cath and stuff like that. But I mean, I feel really good about it. Cholesterol and all that stuff is not that far out of the woods. Well, it's a little higher than what they want. You know what I mean? But I don't have any palpitations. I don't have any symptoms of what they're talking about. So in the long run, am I being hard-headed? Am I being a pighead about it as far as not complying. I did comply with them and it didn't work. I had many miserable years of life taking pills, all these different medications. And there again, I am not telling anybody to stop taking the medication, whatever. But you need to have a dialogue with your doctor. You got to let them understand that you want to change your life. You want to change your way of life with doing stuff, and you want to start getting off these medications. All these medications, there's some that work real good, but every single one of them have a side effect. I mean, it's just there. Some of them you get, and there's 2, 3, 4 pages of side effects. May cause, and that's the other words you got to be careful of. May, can, could, all them right there are the words that they don't know. Basically, what they're saying. Like in the restaurant business, if I sent somebody out a big twin lobster with a filet mignon next to it, and I would say, this may fill you up, but it may not. Okay, depending on who the person is. That's hogwash. That's ridiculous to tell people that. This may help you, but it may not. It may cause other problems. And in the past, that's what I keep saying. I chased my tail. I was on that squirrel cage chasing everything between using statins, to put me on statins. I was probably on 4 or 5 different statins, that side effects one way or another. I had to get off them. One they pulled. I remember one whole year I took a statin, and every morning I took a grapefruit juice. I didn't know you're not supposed to have that. It might enhance it, might deplete it. All right. And that's the other question I had. Well, why not just let me have just use grapefruit juice? Oh, no, that's not going to work. Not going to work. So the LDL fight, the HDL fight, and the cholesterol, to me, it doesn't matter. But I do think that the triglycerides, that can be a problem. That can be a real problem. But now that I'm not eating any kind of high carbs or sugars or anything like that, now the fat that's coming in the way I'm eating, so that's fluctuating back and forth to the point where, like I said, at one point back in, I believe it was 2015, my triglycerides were 1,690 or 80 or 90. I can look it up, but that's when they put me through the paces with all this, the stress tests and all that crap. When it's not crap, some people need to get through that, to deal with that. But that wasn't the problem. The problem was my diet. How do you get triglycerides that high? It was my diet. Exactly what it was. And if they took the time to understand that was the problem, drop it. And the lowest I could get it was 270. And they told me that, you know what, that is hereditary. Now, I sound like I'm repeating myself from the past podcast, but it's important to understand. Do your research. Listen to the doctor. Don't become a know-it-all with it. But what I'm trying to explain to people is right here. Self-control. Get the stress levels down. Like I said, somebody tried to break in my car. Marie could see it. Don't make sense. You can't control it, so leave it alone. Move on. The one thing you can control is what you put in your mouth, what you eat, and how you physically feel, and how you maintain that. You got to exercise. There's no sitting on a couch and doing a ketogenic lifestyle and think you're going to be healthy. You're not. It's just not going to happen. So you got to get up. You got to move around. You got to walk. But you definitely got to watch what you put in your face. And on top of that, stay away from anything that says keto friendly, or don't go chasing that dream as far as shakes, energy drinks, stuff to fill you up. It's all not good for you. If you eat naturally, you eat clean food, clean vegetables, no high starch, you'll be fine. You can move it up around a little bit. Some people just eat beef. Some people eat pork, beef like I do. A little bit of each. I wish I can get some lamb. That's almost like a treat, to get a lamb. So that's really good for you. A lot of iron, a lot of minerals in it. But in the same token, you got to take charge of it. Going to the doctor and listen to. I watch people go in and out of. I'm a people watcher, and I watch people going in and out of that doctor's office, and I'm saying, "Good God Almighty, what what poor bastard? I mean, guy could walk in with a walker, and he was hunched over, and then you eavesdrop a little bit on when they're at the window, and they're younger than you, and they're in that shape. So to me, it's mind-boggling a little bit, and I think we got to get a little bit more control on what what kind of foods we can push on people. The sugar industry is just crazy. Price of meats and stuff, but everything is coming down. So there again, life changes. Things are good when they're working good for you. When they're not, that's when people seem to go down the tubes as far as health wise and stuff. So, all right, enough windbagging. I don't believe I got that out in time. The on Saturdays I have a new podcast that we're doing with my good friend Michelle from Big Valley Living. We talk about our cancer, how we dealt with cancer, and that's a good stress reliever for me. Getting that out and talking about it and how we survived, and that's why I'm sort of pushing about the stress, because that stress is the killer and what you put up here. So that's on Saturdays, usually 10 o'clock in the morning. Every Monday, I have the podcast here. Wednesdays, I do my Tom Garvey, the Keto Cook. Always something different, easy to do to keep in a ketogenic lifestyle. And then on Sunday, I have the Sunday Dinner Chef, which I do different meals from the past. A lot of different things from back in the day when I was working in restaurants and stuff, different meals that we had. So with that said, please hit that like and subscribe button. I really do appreciate it. I'm getting a lot of good feedback from people, and I'm really encouraged and really enjoy doing this. So with that said, stay safe, eat clean, and I'll see you next week. Okay? Thank you so much, everybody. Stay safe. Talk to you later.